a Spanish fashion journalist uploaded an unsettling video on TikTok that left her viewers absolutely terrified. She got the footage from her mum, who claims that the security guard at her workplace captured something on camera that sent shivers down everyone's spine. But was it really paranormal activity caught on camera? Before our deep analysis, let's watch the footage. According to the security guard on shift that night, the motion-activated CCTV cameras captured a lady moaning and crying, so he decided to record it with his phone. After watching it, his friends and family believed he caught La Llorona on camera, the weeping woman of Latin American folklore who died from sorrow after she drowned her children in a lake. Racked with guilt and grief over what she did, she's believed to wander the streets of Mexico sobbing and looking for new children to take. As creepy and as fitting to the legend of La Llorona as this video is, there's always the chance this could be someone playing a prank on the workers. But there seems to be something a little fishy about this footage, so after some digging, we found a heap of videos claiming to have spotted her, but this one in particular left us very suspicious. See if you guess why. Did you get it? Listen carefully to both videos. Did you notice that both clips have the same audio? Perhaps this is just the noise La Llorona makes every time, like a broken record, but that seems a little too convenient, doesn't it? Almost as if people are using the same audio to fake their paranormal videos. Paula, who admits to having little knowledge of video editing, is convinced that the footage is genuine. She even gets a savvy friend to verify it, and he's stumped. He can't find any signs of tampering, but maybe the security guard got someone to dress as the weeping woman and added the audio on top of his spooky footage. I guess we'll never know exactly what happened here unless we're there to prove it. But what do you think? Could there be any innocent explanation as to why the audio sounds exactly the same in both clips? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.
These paranormal investigators had just taken on a new case from a dude whose life went sideways after a seriously rowdy party next door. See, he came home a little hydrated, and the neighbours were going wild. Innocent enough, right? Until he started hearing chattering, laughter and footsteps on his balcony. Then things got personal. The sounds were suddenly coming from his own living room. He brushed it off, figured the booze was just messing with his head. He had no clue that it was just the opening act for a long run of sleepless nights. A couple days later, he steps back in and boom, he sees a figure on that same balcony. But before he could get a real look, poof, gone. When the team arrived, the homeowner dropped the bomb. The previous tenant bailed because of, quote, ghost troubles. Then he hit them with the real kicker. His dad had mysteriously plunged headfirst from that very balcony to log out from life. And ever since, he's been hearing footsteps in the dining room, sometimes even full-on running when nobody's home. Clearly some dark force was making people lose their damn minds in that place, so the investigators set up their gear in the bathroom, a supposed hotspot. If only they knew what nightmare the night had in store.
待って。ごめん。
After a couple of eerily silent minutes staying between the living room, bedroom and bathroom door, he hears someone or something knocking on the door that leads to the living room. But when he went to check it out, no one was there. Then he got the genius idea to set up his camera in the dining area to see if he could catch something. What he caught left him with more goose pimples than a Thanksgiving turkey.
一人検証をしていきたいと思います。すいません。今ちょっとこのベランダの方から人の影みたいなのが動いた気がするんですけど。気のせい。
Did you spot it? Don't worry, it's easy to miss. Let's slow it down and zoom in. There, in the top left corner of the door, a ghostly pale face is peeking in. Not a smudge, not a reflection, a face. The kicker? When he went to check that exact spot, there were no stools, no shelves, no way anybody could have stood there. So what the hell was it? Was this the spirit of the previous tenant, the ghost of his father? Or something far more malevolent tied to that house? We'll let you decide.
そこで一人検証をしていきたいと思います。
On the 20th of February 2023, this guy was driving home from work when both of his dash cams captured something so creepy it left the whole nation baffled. This scary video spread like wildfire throughout Thailand's mainstream news headlines, so our viewer Hack1983 decided to send it to us for all of you to try and explain. Take a look. Bet you missed it, didn't you? Look closely at the right side of the screen. What looks like a pitch black shadow person is lurking against the wall. But when you check the timestamps and watch that exact moment captured by the rear dash cam, there's no one to be seen. The video is full of Scooby-Doo vibes, but is it legit? While it was realistic enough for a TV news segment, there's always a chance it could have just been somebody sneaking out of sight before the camera pans back over. However, if that really was the case, surely that somebody had to be no less than Goku, Flash or Speedy Gonzales to dodge the rear dashcam's field of view just in a few milliseconds. Or perhaps you have other theories about what's going on here. Let us know in the comment section. After his family left the house, this guy claims to be home alone, with nobody but himself and his dogs. But the more comfortable he got, the quicker he realized there was someone or something sharing the house with him.
Okay, so I was in my room, I just heard a loud ass fucking bang, and I know I have to record this so someone can believe me. Hello? That's my sister's dog. What the fuck? Fuck that, dude!
He started asking his viewers for advice after leaving the house with the dogs for a little while, and commenters advised him to smudge the whole building, but it didn't seem to do much. Considering doors kept slamming, he decided the house wasn't worth the stress and left for a few more days. But when he went back to check things out, he was sent sprinting back out of the front door again. After that, he says the activity kind of died down, so he didn't upload. But ironically enough, the second he pulled out his phone to record that, this happened.
Hello? What the fuck? No. No.
Something really wants him in that porch area. But the video that made us genuinely suspicious was this next one. Creepy as hell at first glance, right? But take a closer look and you'll realise that the banging might have been edited in. Why is the camera shaking only during the knocking? The phone glitching, however, tends to be a common theme in haunted places. So what the hell is going on here? What do you think?
This kid always felt as though he was being watched in his bedroom at night. He claimed that a shadow figure was lurking in his room and tried to convince his parents that he was telling the truth. But as most parents do, they told him it was just his imagination and try and go back to sleep. After weeks of telling his mum about the shadow figure, she finally said he could keep his phone by his bed to try and catch a video of it the next time it showed up. That is how he was able to capture this terrifying footage.
Bang? Abang? Bang, sini bang. Bang? Itu apa tadi bang? Itu. Tadi ada hitam-hitam di situ bang. Ada hitam-hitam di situ bang.
The video starts with the kid's hand held up right in front of his face. According to him, this is something that happens every time the figure is near. His vision goes blurry and he gets intensely dizzy, so he was trying to focus on his own hand to fight it. But here's the really chilling part. While his own eyes are betraying him, the phone's camera is recording in perfect clarity. He pans the camera left, and that's when he captures it, a tall, creepy ass shadow figure lurking by the door. Just as he's always described, he rightfully freaks out, shouts for his mum, and by the time she gets there, it's vanished. But this time, he has the footage. Now, that's reported blurry vision and dizziness are classic symptoms people describe during paranormal encounters. Some investigators believe these are psychological effects caused by the entity itself, or by high concentrations of infrared sound or electromagnetic energy, which can mess with your inner ear and even affect your vision. And the figure itself is a textbook shadow person. They're known for being dark, solid masses that disappear in the blink of an eye, especially when confronted, which would explain why his mum never saw it. For weeks, his parents told him it was all in his head, just a bad dream, but the footage proves it. The nightmare was real, and it was standing right there in his room. He finally has the evidence that something was watching him in the dark. The only question that remains is what exactly it's been waiting for. A few weeks ago, paranormal investigator, Midwest ghost hunter, decided to spend the night alone at the Villisca Axe murder house, and boy, did he regret that decision. The Villisca Axe murder house is considered one of the most haunted houses in America for the chilling paranormal activity caught on camera ever since 8 people were slaughtered in cold blood inside that very property. Its chilling history started on the 9th of June 1912, when all the 6 members of the Moore family and their 2 guests lost their lives during their sleep to a brutal axe murderer. And if that's not stomach-churning enough, 6 of the victims were actually children, including the guests. After a lengthy investigation, no conviction was made, making this one of the saddest unsolved murder cases in America. The motive of the attack and perpetrator remains a mystery to this day. Ever since these tragic events, visitors have claimed to hear disembodied voices of children crying, see balls and other objects moving by themselves, feel cold spots, and even some more sinister poltergeist activities. Of course, with all its bone-chilling history and strange happenings that have plagued the house for so long, the Midwest ghost hunter had to investigate it. But even with his years of experience in the paranormal investigation field, nothing could prepare him for what he would capture that night. This is how it started.
Is there anybody down in this cellar? Hey, axe murderer. Are you down here? This seems like a place fitting for you. Whoa. That was up there. That was like a creak. Freaked out more. That's like a creak in the floorboard. What? Oh my God. That sounded like children. That literally sounded like children. What is that? Oh my God! Oh, shit. Fuck. Holy fuck.
After venturing into the basement and hearing the floorboards creaking above his head, when he knew that no one was supposed to be up there, he followed a sound that felt like children giggling. To his utter surprise, the ball he had earlier seen in the children's room somehow made its way down the hall through the master bedroom and was now bouncing down the stairs. However, this was far from the creepiest paranormal evidence he captured that night. A visit to the master bedroom proved to be even more compelling. Take a look.
Honestly, the scariest thing about this room to me is that. That is an axe mark. That was from the killer swinging the axe onto here. Onto, well, unfortunately, these unfortunate souls. Whoa. What the? That turned out really weird. Whoa. What the fuck?
On entering the bedroom, he immediately came across a mark on the ceiling. As it turns out, while swinging the axe to kill Josiah and Sarah, the killer accidentally left that mark. That's how brutal the attack was. The paranormal investigator then decided to take some pictures of the bed where the lifeless bodies of the Moore parents were found. Weirdly, 2 of these pictures took a dark red hue, even though the flash was working perfectly fine. And more unsettling was one of the pictures showing 2 unexplainable dark masses over the bed, almost like dry bloodstains. In an attempt to provoke the entity, the Midwest ghost hunter decided to uncover the mirror. According to police reports, before leaving the crime scene, the murderer left all the mirrors in the house covered for God knows why. After the provocations, we can hear some loud knocks coming from the attic where the killer hid before committing the crime.
Well, you gonna do something? I just uncovered your mirror. What you gonna do?
But soon enough, this ghost hunter learns why it's such a bad idea to bring a killer ghost its favorite weapon. Here's what happened next.
I brought you a present. I think you're pretty familiar with what this is. Is this not what you used? I know you're up here. I can feel you. I can feel your presence up here. Do something. Okay, all right. You killed an entire family with this. And the fact that you are here and you're not burning in hell at the moment is a... Oh, what the fuck? Oh my god. Dude, it just rattled my chair. I've got a bad feeling something's not right in here. Holy shit! Fuck. Oh, shit.
The supposed ghost rattled his chair, which certainly rattled him as well. After taunting the ghost to scare him away from the place, he certainly found what he was looking for. The scare of a lifetime, enough to flee the building without packing his gear. Wouldn't we all? Blurry, incohesive videos tend to be included as mere morsels in creepy compilations, but this video, filmed from a distance through a keyhole of all places, had quite the development. The horrible caterwauling and the setting being in a church is enough for everyone to put two and two together and realise it was an exorcism, or one really guilty woman during confession. The video received little attention until it was supposedly confirmed to be real by Mark Dunder, priest of the Roman Catholic Church of the Assumption of the Virgin Mary in the Czech town Varanov nad Jin. News outlets such as Daily Record and Newser picked up the story after Dunder commented, but as interesting as this all sounds, he didn't actually say anything. He refused to add an actual comment aside from the obvious. The video was filmed through a keyhole and that they used a Latin prayer to liberate the woman. Dunder also didn't reveal the woman's identity or any details of the supposed exorcism. Could this be a setup, with the church wanting their ideas to be proven to the world? According to some people who were interviewed in the surrounding area, this is not the first time they have heard screams emanating from the altar. If that is the case, then it's odd that only one exorcism was documented. That altar must have seen all sorts. Whether or not actual exorcisms took place is up to you to decide. The old Liberty High School in Ohio has left paranormal investigators shaking for years. Abandoned a long time ago, the place has almost no history available to view online, which all built so much mystique that Jake Ghost Hunter was almost compelled to search the area. And search he did. At first, he and his friend Noah found nothing but empty hallways and stairwells. They continued creeping through the shadows, hoping to catch something spooky on camera, but it all got too real when they decided to split up. Noah was left one level above him holding a spirit box and trying to decode whatever the hell it was saying, but he was soon ripped away from the possible ghouls when he heard the most terrifying thing he could think of.
Jake! Oh my god, Jake!
Was that inside? Yeah.
Shh. Get down here now. Now get down here, dude.
No, you come with me, bro. That was on my level.
Call the cops on my phone now. Call the cops. Call the fucking cops. Call the fucking cops. Get down. Turn the lights off.
Now we could be wrong, but those were pretty distinct shots. Wasting no time at all, the pair got down and called the police. They waited around 10 minutes before they heard the police intercom coming from the front doors, which means all is well, right? Well, while the police investigated the area after getting the story from Jake, they seemed a bit on edge. They had left their cameras on the ground when showing themselves to the officers, but they had left them running, which is when they caught footage of the police freaking out.
Are you serious? For real?
While you don't see anything on camera, you can hear that they were absolutely terrified. When quizzed on what they saw, neither could explain it properly.
So right there on the second floor,
Yes.
we were looking this way. I heard pitter patter like that along that, what would that be? The east wall.
Yeah.
And then he hears it at the end of the hallway. And as I'm taking my light down, I see something go like dart across.
Are you guys dead ass?
Swear.
Do you have
And then
body
we were
cam?
like, no. But we were talking about you guys. We're like, let's just black out for a second. So we went completely black in there, and all of a sudden we heard movement behind us, and we just ran.
For real?
Because there's nobody in there.
Okay. Dude.
Watch this stuff on YouTube.
Do you
like
guys?
the Estes method and all that stuff.
Dude, that's what we do.
I figured
We have a
because I
we have
saw
a
the
channel.
chair,
Yeah, we have a channel. Yeah.
What channel are you guys?
Spirit Stalkers.
Spirit Stalkers.
Yep.
I'll watch it. I've never seen anything like that before. That's actually scary.
Could this be why there's no history on the school anywhere? Did the police and the investigators stumble upon a stone that should have been left unturned? What do you think? Let us know in the comments.
Have you ever felt a shiver run down your spine when you get a glimpse of something strange out the corner of your eye? That's exactly what happened to the person who sent this video to our email a few weeks ago. At first, they thought it was just their mind playing tricks, but after reviewing the home CCTV footage, their hearts sank with the realisation that something bone-chilling was caught in their kitchen. Take a look. The anonymous sender reported being downstairs watching TV when they briefly spotted something around the kitchen door area. That's when their phone went off with a notification from the camera app, showing a silhouette of a person coming from that door and entering the kitchen, yet there was nobody else at home. Sure, it could be anyone, and we all know home security cameras are famous for this ghostly effect, usually caused by slow shutter speed, digital noise reduction, and video compression. But what if there's something far more sinister at play here? What if this was actually a ghost caught on camera? Let us know what you think in the comments.
Grandma's house tends to be a place that represents warmth and comfort. You usually leave with a full belly and a £20 note in your pocket. But for this person, their grandma's house represented fear and a need to always bring their spare brown pants. In their grandma's house, there was a chest of drawers, which came with strict instructions. never open the top drawer, which they abided by, until tragedy struck when their grandfather decided to take his last breath. The night before the funeral, they heard a strange noise coming from the drawer room downstairs and went to check it out, which is where they saw their grandma inside flicking through an old photo album, and the door that should never be opened was open. She placed the album behind the door and smiled, a smile they would not be able to get out of their head. They were itching to know what was inside the photo album and in the drawer, so they sneaked a peek when their grandma wasn't around. Which is when they saw a myriad of creepy dolls and the photo album with images of their grandmother when she was young. These images immediately made them feel sick to the point where they had to pay a visit to their local hospital, unable to bring a high, feverish temperature down. They avoided their grandma after this, but when she passed, they called upon the guys over on the fourth wall to go check out the house and dispose of the album, which they did, not before having a nose through though, and what they saw made their blood run cold. He dropped the camera to the floor and quickly left the house, claiming he felt the album was dangerous. But if you look at the door behind him just before he leaves, he had company. The figure of a man on the floor with his head bowed, lurking behind him this whole time. Maguro was sent to pick up the pieces, and the thing that sent the first shiver down his spine was the fact that the album was still on the floor, even when Kaneko said he put it back where he had found it. Maguro also found something else wrong with the forbidden chest door. A doll was missing, which he then found inside a baby carriage outside the front door. But he never expected the chilling discovery he was about to make. Someone has used this doll to make some kind of Asian version of a voodoo doll. It's been pierced repeatedly with what looks like a needle. And pairing that with the strange, ritualistic photos in the album, was Grandma involved in something cursed beyond our comprehension? Is that why she was smiling looking at the album before her husband's funeral? Maybe because she cursed it. Was that figure behind the door Grandpa's spirit? Either way, we probably won't be going for a Sunday dinner around this grandma's house anytime soon.
There is a house somewhere in America where a woman lives in with her little girl. They lived there without bother for a good while, but strange things began infiltrating their peaceful life, which was when they found out more and more disturbing things about their home. Let's jump straight into the action and show you what it was that kicked off all the spooky speculation.
Hey, June, play? Sure, I'll play with you. So let you play me, yeah. Bling, 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 doo, doo. Let's go.
It looks like the little girl is getting slowly dragged underneath the bed by something we can't even see, and her screams are enough to send dread shooting through any parent's mind almost instantly. According to the mum, other people who had lived there had reported ghostly experiences.
So a lot of you guys have asked me if we've done any research on the house, and I did. I found out that some of the past people that have lived here have had some ghostly encounters. I learned that it was built near, not on, but near a cemetery. Yeah, I don't know, we're at a loss. We really love our home. We don't want to have to leave it, so we're trying to figure out what to do.
And that it was built on a graveyard, which doesn't seem to explain anything. But after a bit more digging, we found something that made our hair turn white and our blood run cold. That's right, it's your favourite form of nightmare fuel back once again. The woman collects dolls that all look like they've crawled out of Eva specifically to give us the creeps, and she has loads of them and is weirdly obsessed with one specific doll.
And on her account she only posts these videos of these dolls, and she doesn't sell them or anything, she just makes them. And these are like not your average doll. They have like human eyes, and recently she's reported that they've been moving without any batteries or anything. FYI, this is her new doll and she takes it everywhere she goes. And like she literally treats this thing like a kid. Like she dresses it and buys shoes for it. She has like a creepy obsession with it. Like look at it here when she's looking at its body.
So knowing all of this, we now go back to the girl's bedroom, where in response to the first video she posted, someone asked her to check under the bed, although maybe we would have been better off not knowing what was waiting for her under there.
Oh my god.
That looks suspiciously like her favourite doll, and it's moving. Is that what dragged her daughter under the bed? Some commenters insisted that the doll must have been mechanical, so she took to TikTok again to dispel any misconceptions.
So for those of you saying that the doll is mechanical and that's how it moved, that doll is plastic, that doll is stuffed. I checked, I looked at Amazon. There is no way that thing should have moved like that.
So what's going on here? It's all chalking up to be a real-life horror flick, but are there any suspicious parts? If you look deeper into it, there is plenty to be discussed. Firstly, the girl seemed to be screaming for ages, but her mum, just chilling, opened the door so slowly as if it wasn't anything to worry about. Surely any parent would rush, whack the door and jump in quickly to protect their children, right? And why did it seem like she knew exactly where to look? Plus, the girl shrieked for help, but right after her mum walked in, she just shut up and calmly got out from under the bed. Surely, if you had just been dragged underneath your bed by a bloody haunted doll, you'd be screaming the house down. The woman has since removed her TikTok account, hence why all these videos have been found on Reddit. No clue why. So if you have heard anything through the grapevine about this, let us know.
Twitch streamer Cute Boss tends to focus on gaming and cosplay, but during a live stream she held in December 2022, one of her viewers spotted something behind her, seemingly moving on its own. At that point, the live chat immediately turned into a paranormal conversation that would soon trigger something she would never forget. Something that would leave Cute Boss absolutely terrified of sleeping there ever again. Take a look.
Do you think it's like a random occurrence? You guys? Do you think it's like a random thing that happens? No, legit. It's not planned. If okay, and if you do think it's a planned thing, then hypothetically, if it weren't planned.
Trembling in fear, she called a friend as she couldn't stand being there alone anymore. That's when she started showing him how it all started. Let's watch.
No, look how much it like wiggles. It wiggles so much.
Yeah.
And then it stops right away when I look. It's like dude, it's literally a fucking Mario ghost.
There was a good chance that the unicorn balloon could just fall from an unbalanced weight, and she's overreacting. Or maybe she had someone outside the room pulling a string. She said she was alone, but so did Bill Clinton. Her reaction though, it seemed pretty genuine, which certainly adds credibility to this footage. Plus, the paranormal doesn't seem to be a topic she's very comfortable with, by the looks of it. So, was it a hoax, a prank, or something far more sinister? Let us know your thoughts.
Just before 5 AM in the pitch black darkness of a Colombian road, this dashcam caught something the driver missed at the time. But after being the witness of a crash minutes later, things took a terrifying turn as he was looking for the footage requested by the authorities. Take a look. What starts out as a pretty routine drive turns into a hair-raising encounter straight out of a horror movie as a figure dressed in white is seen walking across. This mysterious figure seems unbothered about the passing truck. It looks like a woman in a gown, but what the hell was she doing out so early in the morning? Was she sleepwalking? And why didn't the driver see her when she's so clearly visible on camera? Did he just manage to capture the paranormal proof we've all been looking for? Let us know your thoughts. Exploring haunted buildings at stupid o'clock can be an exciting idea for Halloween. That is, until the paranormal come out to play, as these guys would soon experience firsthand. Built in 1870, with prisoners violently forced to mine the rocks for the walls, the old Idaho penitentiary soon became overcrowded, with extreme temperatures and a lack of proper plumbing or ventilation. Hundreds of souls perished behind the very walls they built, succumbing to a gruesome combination of old age, illness, and murder. With all the inhuman conditions over 30,000 inmates had to endure throughout the decades, it comes as no surprise that the prison has been known for paranormal activity and accounts of strange sounds, voices, and dark entities. Of course, Josh Fletch and a group of friends discarded all the warning signs and had to sneak inside in the dead of night. But their spooky outing soon turned into a high-speed chase when Josh decided to be a rebel and climbed to a forbidden area. And according to his own words, he got just what he deserved. Take a look.
I may or may not have climbed up because there's no stairs.
Bet you missed it, didn't you? In the last cell, before Josh screams bloody murder, there's the shadow of a muscular build lurking behind bars. Could it be the spirit of Raymond Allen Snowden, a notorious inmate known as Idaho's Jack the Ripper? He was convicted of cold-blooded murder in 1956 and sentenced to death by hanging at the notorious penitentiary. The terror lingered until the very end as the trap door snapped open, but the noose only choked him, not ending his life quickly, as you can imagine. He hung there, gasping for breath for a full 15 minutes, before finally succumbing to suffocation and a slow, torturous death. Whether it was the spirit of this notorious inmate or not, these guys were not sticking around to find out. Number 9. The Holy Spirit. Alex is something of a master at exploration, and how could he ignore the opportunity to take a tour of an abandoned nuns' convent? After walking and hearing strange, echoing laughter through the long hallways, Alex realizes his camera is nearly out of juice, so he heads back home. But when he watched the footage back, he spotted something that sent a deep sense of dread scuttling up his throat. Watch. Take a good, long look at the open doorway in this replay. Someone is standing there. The silhouette also looks suspiciously veiled, which is incredibly spooky when you remember the video was captured in a convent. Perhaps someone wasn't quite ready to pass on just yet. Let's hope she didn't latch onto Alex as he left. Number 8. We have company. No manner of years watching those spooky backroom videos could have prepared you for this next clip. This guy had a job searching for a leak around an urgent care centre that had been abandoned a few months prior. He had no idea why everyone left so suddenly. That is, until he delved further into the building and heard some things that made him feel as though he wasn't the only one tiptoeing around. Let's watch.
Another bathroom. This is a second two-story building. This used to be the elevator shaft right here. I guess we're taking the stairs. I guess meditation class used to be upstairs. Had to put your shoes in this little cubby.
The footage cut abruptly as he tried to compose himself after hearing someone, or something, bolting down the stairs right in front of his eyes, when clearly there was no one to be seen. He grew some balls and went upstairs to film the meditation room, but it didn't look like he no-clipped into level 1.
After some further investigation, there's no one else in this building. I've heard someone go down those stairs though. So, I guess this was the meditation room. There's a lot of natural lighting in here. I probably don't need the flashlight right now. Here's the top of the elevator shaft. You can't see anything down there. So here's the meditation room. Kind of looks like the back rooms. It looks very culty. There's a stage up here. It looks like a couple of altars next to him. Creepy. Okay, now I'm getting the f*** out of here. That was it.
Was it a bit of fancy footwork? Or a real living nightmare?
Another bathroom. Another bathroom. Another bathroom.
Let us know what you think in the comments section. It was stupid o'clock when this dude's Ring doorbell camera caught something he'll never forget. He was about to start his day when he felt a chill running down his spine for seemingly no reason. Not long after, he receives a notification on his Ring app about some movement on his front door. With uneven breaths, he checks the app only to find this. A strange figure walks past his front door like someone returning from a morning jog, but the camera only captures their feet. What or whose feet were those? Was it some sort of next generation stealth camouflage? Perhaps it was a glitch from the camera, or was it something far more sinister? Maybe the spirit of someone who was in an accident. With so little known about the neighborhood and its backstory, this one belongs in the pile of unsolved mysteries. Or what do you think? Let us know. Matt and his girlfriend were just chilling, looking for ways to kill time, so naturally, they picked the absolute worst idea possible, an Ouija session. Now, these two aren't exactly strangers to spooky stuff. They're big on randonauting, so messing with the unknown doesn't faze them.
Is there anybody here?
Or at least, it didn't, until they started suspecting that something might have hitched a ride home from one of their late night adventures. And that's when things got real.
So me and my girlfriend were messing around with the Ouija board. It spelled out the word car, and I instantly thought about my Randonaut videos. We stopped playing after that because it kind of started to freak us out a little bit. Our fingers are barely on it. It literally just spelled out car.
I'm not doing this anymore.
Just later that night at around like 4 a.m., I got woken up by something really, really loud in the next room. It is literally like 4 a.m. And I just got woken up by the loudest, like, crashing noise in my other room. Dude, what? What the chair, my paintings. What the fuck? My keyboard? What? Okay, no. I'm starting to think whatever was at those Randonaut locations followed me home.
He thought those late night trips had something to do with the spirit spelling out the word car on the board.
It literally just spelled out car.
I'm not doing this anymore.
But the spookiest thing here is that they didn't close the session properly. After getting spooked, his girlfriend took her hands off the planchette, one of the things you really shouldn't do. It's fabled that not properly saying goodbye can open up a portal for spirits to stop by your home like it's their local bus station. He addressed this in the next video, and as you can imagine, things had gotten 10 times worse.
I'm pretty sure my house is 100% haunted. People were telling me that me and my girlfriend didn't close the Ouija board properly in my last video, and that we basically invited spirits into my house. We did say goodbye to the board, but at this point we already had our hands off once, and apparently you can't take your hands off until the board says goodbye back to you. We tried to use the board again to see if we could properly close the session, but we weren't able to contact anyone, and the piece never moved. And then yesterday, this happened. Okay, something just knocked over my chair again. I'm honestly getting sick and tired. What? Hello? Is there anybody here? If you're here, do something. No.
A lot of commenters theorised that whatever was tormenting Matt was actually latched onto him instead of the house, meaning he was in it for a long ride. Luckily for us, he recorded the whole thing.
So the other day I was home alone and I walked downstairs to go to my room. When I got to the bottom of the stairs, I saw a shadow-like figure sitting in one of the chairs. The shadow disappeared pretty quick, but the chair was still rocking, so I took my phone out and started recording. Again, I was home alone. There was nobody else at the house, so what you hear at the end scared me enough that I stayed at a friend's house that night. I swear to God, I just saw someone sitting in this chair, and now it's rocking a little bit. Hello? Is anybody here? What do you want?
The thing that makes these videos compelling is that the shaking seems to be out of genuine fear, unless he's a really good actor or that house is chilly as... It's just something about his demeanour just seems genuine. After sharing enough footage to his TikTok, people began reaching out and offering him advice. He did a few standard cleansing procedures like saging the house and attempting to remain fearless when he felt the spirit nearby. And it worked. For a while, until this happened.
I've had a lot of people reach out to me and try and give me tips on how to deal with the ghost, and I just want to give a big thank you because some of the things are helping. I did sage my house, and when the ghost is present, I'm trying to be as fearless as I can and tell the ghost to get out. The past couple days a lot less things are happening, which is good. Normally like 10 or more things happen every day, so there's a lot that happens off camera. But this clip here is one of the 2 things that happened yesterday, and that number is way lower than it used to be. I was just chilling and this light just knocked over, just randomly. Are you still here? Do something if you're still here. Get out of my house, please. You are not welcome here. Get out of my house. Get out.
It's less intense, but something is still there. Soon, the strange happenings started to impact him outside of his own 4 walls. Whilst getting on with his shift at work, he noticed a strange hooded man acting erratically outside, and it soon escalated.
There's literally somebody outside like dragging a bag at my work. No, sorry, I'm just recording in case something happens. I can't see his face. Where's he going? He's literally running down to the door. He's coming up to the door right now. See? Oh my fucking god! He's outside the door. He's outside the door right now. No, there's nowhere to hide in here. It's just this one room. The door is locked, but oh my fuck! He's like behind the building now. I don't. Can you just get? I was working night shift at work, and the security cameras we have beep when it senses motion. It was pretty late at night and I heard the beep go off, so I went to go look at the camera. Somebody was dragging a bag right beside the building. I was pretty creeped out, so I went and grabbed the work phone and called 911. By the time I was on the phone with them, the guy walked up the road a little bit, but then he started to come back towards the building. This is when I started recording. After the video ended, he ran out of sight of the camera. I never seen him again after that. A bunch of cops came, they told me to stay in the building, and they searched the area for him. They said inside his bag just had a bunch of clothes, but some of the clothes had some blood on them, I guess. Anyways, they're gonna take that in for investigation. They took the security camera footage, and of course they sent me home that night because they didn't find him. But yeah, that's all I know so far. Hope that's a good enough update.
So he never saw the guy again, but for some reason, he left a bag for the bloodstained clothes outside his work. It may not be connected to the ghostly happenings in the house, but regardless, Matt lives one terrifying life.
Do something if you're still here.
There's nothing quite as wild as Jinn Hunter videos, is there? But even one of the most experienced in the field was left reaching for his spare pants when he visited a place dubbed the Village of the Jinn by those nearby. It wasn't long after he first stepped foot on the village soil that he was given a very warm welcome.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق. بسم الله لا إله إلا الله.
It could well be wind moving it all around, but there's no whistling noises at all, so how could that be the case? There's so much stuff left lying around too, and all the items look to be heavy types of furniture. Wind wouldn't be able to throw them around unless they were gale force. Why is there so much abandoned furniture in the middle of the village as well? Did everyone leave here in a hurry? When the guy decided to start checking out the interiors of the houses scattered around, he realised that the activity had started to follow him.
لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله. أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق. بسم الله. بسم الله. بسم الله. لا إله إلا الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
At this point, he was more than ready for whatever else these jinns could throw at him, literally and figuratively. So he stormed into what looks like a large apartment complex or office building and began to sort through all of the rooms. But he might have walked straight into a trap.
بسم الله. لا 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 يا جماعة.
Oh.
There's a few possibilities here, most of them terrifying. Number one is that he had a friend hiding off camera to come and slam the door and hold it shut. But surely we would have seen some glimmer of another person while he was exploring, right? Number two is that the jinns lured him into that building and locked him in. And number three is that a stranger could have been lurking in the building and locked him in that room themselves. The rest of the video is spent with him desperately trying to break out of the room, and you can tell that he's really giving it his all. Eventually he realises that the door just isn't opening and that he's going to have to figure a way to shimmy from the high floor he was on back down to the ground.
يا جماعة استودعوني يا الله يا الله بسم الله لا خلاص يا جماعة بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
The question here is, why would he deliberately put himself in so much danger getting out of that building just to film a Snapchat video? He'd already caught some pretty spooky footage, so why would he do this? Could he really have been hounded by jinns in the video? And if the window weren't open, they would have soon descended? Who knows? A poltergeist told me that you enjoy scary videos like this, but don't subscribe just yet. We'll earn your subscription by the end of this scary compilation.
You'd think that after school ended, everyone would vacate to never return again. But according to this clip by MMTV, some poor souls never, ever left. These ghost hunters decided to pay a visit to an abandoned school, and the crew caught some terrifying footage that might prove the place is really haunted. Throughout the video, they kept catching weird stuff happening. Strange bangs, lights flickering, windows moving, shadow weirdos, lampshades trembling, all sorts. But nothing was compared to what they captured when they decided to investigate this specific classroom, which, according to former students and staff, is a paranormal hotspot. The team decided to split up and see what they could catch, but one of them may have got a bit more than he bargained for. Let's watch.
क्लियर करके ही लिए ये वहम नहीं था, ये क्लियर करके ही लिए क्लियर करके ही लिए ये वहम नहीं था, ये क्लियर करके ही लिए क्लियर करके ही लिए मुझे पता है अब यहाँ पे मुसलसल ये मैं मीटर भी चला के दिखाता हूँ, एक्टिविटीज़ कर रहे हैं, आप मेरे इर्द गिर्द मौजूद हैं, कभी बेंच से कभी किसी चीज़ से आवाज़ आ रही है। मीटर इस चीज़ का सबूत है कि मेरे इर्द गिर्द कोई मौजूद है क्लियर, जिसकी वजह से मीटर बंद ही नहीं हो रहा। कोई क्लियर इस वक्त मेरे करीब मौजूद है। क्या आप बग़ैर नुकसान पहुंचाए मुझे अपनी मौजूदगी का एहसास दिला सकते हैं? बग़ैर नुकसान पहुंचाए क्या आप मुझे अपनी मौजूदगी का एहसास दिला सकते हैं? और ये बेंच बग़ैर नुकसान पहुंचाए क्या आप मुझे अपनी मौजूदगी का एहसास दिला सकते हैं? बग़ैर नुकसान पहुंचाए क्या आप मुझे अपनी मौजूदगी का एहसास दिला सकते हैं? और ये बेंच मुझे पता है आप मेरे इर्द गिर्द मौजूद हैं। क्या आप बग़ैर नुकसान पहुंचाए अपनी मौजूदगी का एहसास दिला सकते हैं? क्या आप बग़ैर नुकसान पहुंचाए मुझे अपनी मौजूदगी का एहसास दिला सकते हैं? कोई बेंच हिली है, क्या हुआ है? ये हिल रही है। कोई बेंच हिली है, क्या हुआ है? ये हिल रही है। और मेरे को फ्रेम फिक्स है, कैमरा लगा हुआ है, शुक्र है ये वाली एक्टिविटीज़ इसमें रिकॉर्ड हो गई है, क्लियर इसके अंदर रिकॉर्ड हो गई है। क्या आप बग़ैर नुकसान पहुंचाए इस बेंच को दोबारा से हिला सकते हैं? अब ये वाली यहाँ से आवाज़ आई है, अब ये वाली यहाँ से आवाज़ आई है। क्या आप बग़ैर नुकसान पहुंचाए इस बेंच को दोबारा से हिला सकते हैं? क्या आप दोबारा से इस बेंच को बग़ैर नुकसान पहुंचाए हिला सकते हैं?
If it were just tilting in one direction, we would have brushed it off as a bit of string action. but it's rocking back and forth right next to a solid wall. Of course, they soon up and leave, quicker than they would if they heard the school bell. Do you think they caught real paranormal activity though, or real experience handling strings and objects? Let us know.
As you'll soon find out, even the most luxurious of places have their fair share of poltergeist activities. This CCTV footage, leaked by the staff of a 5-star hotel, revealed the unexplainable events that go on at night. Take a look.
Видел, какой шайтан ходит?
Тихо,
Это за тобой.
не матюкайся, давай, снимай. Я вам говорю, это не серьезно. Высота, посмотри.
Стой, ну это что такое?
Смотри, сейчас больше. Этот говорит сквозняк.
Все. Откроется обратно. Да?
Ну, короче, я туда не ногой больше не раз.
Ну,
еще двинулся, видишь?
Our take on these events? Well, firstly, they took place at a high-profile hotel, yet the original source didn't even reveal its name, which kind of makes a potential publicity stunt less plausible, and any staff member caught in such an act stands a chance of losing their job, so that seems somewhat unlikely too. Secondly, the cart starts rotating, which would be hard to accomplish by someone pulling a string. Something else that also gave us goose pimples when watching it is the fact it's recorded straight from the CCTV camera monitoring software, confirming it couldn't be doctored. But I guess we'll never know the truth for sure.
It was supposed to be the perfect escape plan. A student, trying to skip class, sneaks into the restroom, hoping to ride out the whole period in peace, free from pesky classmates and nagging teachers. Just him, some TikTok scrolling, and the echoey silence of the school restroom. However, his flawless plan took a turn the moment he felt like he wasn't alone. What was supposed to be a quiet escape suddenly began to feel like someone was watching him. At first, he figured it was just another student pulling the same stunt. But when he called out and got no response, he pulled out his phone to investigate.
Nah, y'all ever been in a bathroom skipping alone, bro? This shit is crazy. I'm in here, bro, just alone, and it's like mad weird, bro, cause like, what if there was some monster or some shit just pop up on me? That shit would be crazy, bro. But I don't know. Like, there's nobody in here. You could come out and shit. I don't even know, bro, but yeah, there's nobody right here, bro, but this shit's crazy, bro. I don't know, but that shit's mad weird. What the fuck?
As the stall door swings open, something that looks like a dark, shadowy hand appears to push it from inside. There are no feet visible under the stall, so he leans in closer, and that's when the second, creepier event happens. Let's watch again, slowed down. Just after the hand disappears, a pale, featureless head slowly peeks around the side of the stall, watching him, before quickly pulling back into the darkness. What makes this footage so compelling to paranormal researchers is that it appears to show two distinct phenomena: the door moving is a classic poltergeist activity, often linked to places with high emotional energy, like a school. But the entity itself is what truly fascinating. It exhibits what investigators call the peekaboo phenomenon, an intelligent action that shows it's aware of being watched and is choosing how and when to reveal itself. The student went into that restroom looking for a place to hide. Instead, he found something that had been hiding there all along, just waiting for someone to come looking.
What the fuck?
Is that UFO? While anything could be edited, you can see the huge splash and the ripple effect throughout the water after the fact. How he was able to ignore the cart being pushed, but not the toppling disc cases, we will never know. The deep, guttural nightmare fuel and the horrific crashing sound that followed, those sounds were coming from everywhere all at once.